extremely stuck CV joint axle on an 02 Jeep Liberty. I hit it with the hammer and it's just not coming out. I hit it a lot of times. Let it soak with PB Blaster and nothing. So we're gonna try this contraption here. This is a 3-jaw puller, but it's hydraulic. So it's supposed to be able to put a lot of force into that. If I'm not mistaken, over 1,000 pounds of pressure. Let's give it a shot. See what happens. Hopefully that sucker doesn't come flying. That is not working, guys. Not at all. I felt like it popped once and that was it. I'm gonna try hitting it with the hammer on the side to see if it loosens up. Yeah, that's not working at all. I am going to beat it up with the hammer a little bit more. And try that. All right, so I finally got the knuckles freed up from the CV joint axle and the bearings. It took a lot of work. I'll try to put some pictures or a picture of the torch and stuff that I ended up using, man, but it required a lot of heat. They're freshly painted. I took as much rust off of them as I could, and they look a lot better now. I guess I gotta touch it up here, but yeah. But now the problem that I'm having is I got stuck bolts on the lower control arm, and I'm gonna use the heat induction tool to see if I heat up the bolts and see if I free them up from the joint of the lower control arm. If not, I'm gonna end up cutting them. We'll see how it works. Usually the way this tool works is with a button, and you put the round part of the tip that you end up grabbing, and you hold the button and it starts getting hot. That's how that works. And what it does is it prevents you from having a fire and still heat up the bolt with electricity induction. That's next. Let's see if it works, guys. See the steam coming out of it? So it does work. It gets pretty hot and quick too. All I gotta do is press on the button, and then you can move the tips however you need them. You can bend them to accommodate wherever you're gonna put them in. So hopefully it heats up the whole bolt and I'm able to whack it out of there. I'm doing the other side now. The other one's still steaming. Yeah, that did not work. I got both sides heated up with the nut on, and I beat the crap out of it with no movement at all. Let me see what I figure. What else am I gonna do? So I decided to start cutting the bolt. As you can see right there, it's halfway cut. And as I'm messing with it, it finally turns in the bushing. So it's free. But now this nut, I gotta cut that nut off because it's completely smashed completely from hitting it with the hammer. But man, this thing just fought me all the way to the end. But I'm either gonna finish cutting it or I gotta cut the nut and then try to bang it out. But it's almost out. This was supposed to be the easy side. It just turned into a nightmare. All right, here we go. I've been cutting it again. It's almost there, but I keep on burning through the blades. They don't. That's some tough bolts. Yeah, definitely tough bolts, man. They're hard, but it's almost there. So if you're gonna do this kind of job, you gotta get a lot of blades. I think this is like my 5th one. Finally did it. And finished cutting the bushing with the bolt. Here's the bolt that I cut. Oh, the other end. And the nut, I started cutting it and eventually started coming out. And it snapped right off. But yeah, I had to cut it. Now, if I had a torch, you know, a settling torch with oxygen, that would have cut that son of a bitch quick. But I ended up using a lot of blades. My advice to you, if you're gonna cut it with a sawzall, use some kind of lubricant on the blade and try not to go too fast with the blade. You know, fast, but not full throttle, because I think that's what burns the blades more than anything. So use lube. If you got cutting oil, you're great, but if you just got anything like this, will work. And don't go too fast. Not full throttle. That's my advice to you. So you don't hopefully burn through so many blades. I think I burned through like, I don't know, 8 blades. But yeah, now I'm ready to put all the new parts. And another thing I find out when I got the CV joint, there's a shaft that wasn't supposed to come out that was stuck on the CV joint, and I have the shaft. I have to put it back into the diff. So I didn't know till I thought it was just a long CV joint, because I've seen them long. But no, there's a shaft that was supposed to stay there that goes all the way into the punking of the diff, and it was seized in the CV joint from all the rust. I gotta put it back in. I'll show you guys. So if you have that situation, make sure you take it out and clean it, and before you put it in, I'm gonna lubricate it with some oil or grease so we don't damage the seal. Here's the shaft. I cleaned it, and so this is the part that goes in the differential, and then this is the part that was very rusty and it was stuck inside the CV joint. It's an O-ring. There's some, I wire brushed it really good, so it's pretty clean. You can see that there's a little bit of discoloration from the rust. But yeah, and this is where the seal and the bearing rides, this area. So I'm gonna go ahead and lubricate it and try to get it in there without damaging the seal. We got some grease here, some general purpose grease. I'm gonna grease here and some here in the rough area and some towards the end. And it's all the way installed. So once I had it in, you have to rotate it and look for the gears to mesh, and then it goes in a little bit, but then you have to end up hitting it a little bit. So I grabbed my mallet, and with the wooden part, the wooden handle, I tapped it one time and it just went right in, and it sat all the way in where I need to be. All right guys, so that's pretty much it when it comes to removing some stuck axle and removing and cutting bolts. The next part I'm going to show you just everything finished, put together, because I already made a video of how I took it apart on the other side, and then this side was supposed to be the easy side, but I wanted to record how I cut the bolt and what I did to remove a stuck bolt or cut the bolt off, because that was a pain in the ass. That was a really pain in the ass. I spent a little bit too much time and a little bit too much money on this Jeep. And this is just the front. I gotta do the rear still. But it was one of those things that the Jeep is low miles. The interior is good. Everything works on the Jeep. It rides good. It's a little rusty on the rocker panel, but the rest of the Jeep is pretty good. Now with all this stuff that I'm gonna end up doing to it, it's gonna live for a while, and that's all that matters. I got this Jeep for free. A friend of mine threw it out. They wanted it. Told me if I wanted it to go ahead and pick it up from his house, just get rid of it. And I'm gonna bring it back to life. It's been driving like that since he gave it to me. I did a few things to it, and it was driving for a couple of years. And now it just needed to rebuild the front end and the rear. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.